some stuff in the mail yesterday. Another day of installations. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to my garage. And of course, before we get started, big shout out to Mean Cycles. Meancycles.com, Miami, Florida. I got some stuff in the mail yesterday and it was all because of them. This is why we're doing this installation today. So, what are we doing? We're gonna be installing a side-mounted license plate mount. Fairly easy job, that'll take a couple minutes. We're also going to be installing some LED signals, lights on the tail. Those are from Mean Cycles and they're custom dynamic LED lights. We're going to be installing that. So what that's going to entail is removing the rear license plate mount and the turn signals, or that whole plastic housing there. I did some YouTube searches and realized that most people call it a beaver tail. I don't know why. If anyone knows, reach out to me. Let me know why they call that the beaver tail. So, we're going to remove all of that. That's going to be a nice clear view of the rear tire, and it's going to look nice. Let's get started. So what this job is going to require is the removal of the seat, obviously. We're going to remove the rear coil. Rear coil? Coil, is that what they call it? Who knows? This part, we're going to remove this part, and we're going to cut off the beaver tail using a multi-tool. Also, we're gonna have to take off these side panels here so that we can have access to everything back here. So to remove this rear section here, this complete section, what we're gonna have to do is remove 6 screws. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have 5, and there's 6 on the other side. Remove that, and this whole piece should come off, and I believe that there is some cables that we're gonna have to undo for the turn signals right under here. Get to it. So I did forget to mention that with the 6 screws that we removed here, there's also 2 screws on the bottom. My bike is pretty brand new, so you'll be able to see them pretty easy. There's one right there that I really unscrewed. I just let it hanging here. And there was another one right there that you unscrew, and this rear portion should come straight off. So when I took out those 2 screws on the bottom, this pretty much popped right off, slid right off. So this whole thing is out. So the only thing that's holding this together now are the lights. So these are the turn signals. That whole thing came off. We got all the screws off, and then there was just this one connection, the electrical connection that leads to the tail light that came off. Easy peasy. Now, I've seen some videos where some guys just completely took off this whole beaver tail and then cut it off so that there's no issue. I've also seen videos where someone used a multi-tool and left this connected and just kind of cut right under the lip here. And then it came out. I don't know if I want to do that, only because there's these cords here that I do not want to mistakenly cut. So it seems like it's fairly easy to just take off this piece here just by removing these 2 bolts right here. It looks like it's pretty easy. Pretty much it looks like there's 1, 2 bolts here, and then there's 1 here, and then there's 1 over here. So 4 bolts in total. I think I'm just gonna take those off and try to see if I can unscrew them. So I stand corrected. it was actually 6 bolts. So 1 bolt up here, 1 bolt here, there was 1 here and here, and then the 2 on the side. And it comes right off. Perfect. A little more disconnecting with the lights here, and this thing is completely off. All right, so we got the whole thing completely removed. We took off that beaver. Everything is all off here. Disconnected a couple wires here. Just got to keep in mind which one is the left and the right turn signal, and of course the tail light here. This actually went over to the other side, to the right hand side of the tail light. Here is the finished product. So the cover goes here like this. I took off the beaver tail, so if you see on the bottom of it, I cleaned it off a little bit. I did as best as I could. I completely cut off the whole piece here. Here's what's remaining. We've got the beaver tail. I still got the light connected inside of that, and then we also have the lights. They're off. On to the next step. We're gonna try to put everything back together.
2 hours later.
So I ran into a couple hiccups, only because everybody knows that I'm not really that mechanical, and when it comes to electricity, I'm really not that good. And so I've got this little mess of cords here that I kind of put back together and kind of tucked away, you know, and hopefully, you know, it's not too bunched up where the real cowl goes. Yeah, it's about 2 hours later after I ran into a bunch of hiccups. Nothing with the hardware at all. It's just my knowledge of electricity and me not wanting to mess everything up. I ended up blowing one of the light fuses and had to replace it. But it's all good. But here is the light. As you can see on the bottom here, they are on. And I actually put back the first part of the black plastic there. So all that's left to do really is to put the rest of this on. But if you guys want to see how it looks, then here it is. Left turn signal, right turn signal, hazards,